Hey, what is up guys, Gamer85 here from the Misfit Anglers, and today we're going to be doing another fishing video. Whoa, and there goes my rod, but we are not actually focusing on the rod today. We are focusing on the line, and more specifically the knots that you guys are going to be using. So now, last time, in the last video, I talked about how I would use trilene line. Now trilene, it does have that little breakage problem, but I still love it. It is great. It gets the job done really well and is barely visible. And I even use green line. But green line, this is clear line I've got here, so it's hard to see, but green line is also great. That's what my great grandpa uses. And it works very well. I was skeptical about using it at first, but I turned out really liking it. So now this here, guys, this is a swivel. Now what a swivel can be used for is, what it'll do is, see, it's closed and then it will open up, see, like that. And you can slip on things like crankbaits, jigs, not spinnerbaits, because spinnerbaits, I'll show you a picture here, so you can see the problem with that. It didn't make a full loop. It just was kind of bent, and what'll happen is it'll slip up and it'll stop the blade from spinning, which is the main part of a spinnerbait. And the same problem with buzz baits, but you can do this with chatterbaits, because chatterbaits, I'll show you a chatterbait real quick, and see, there it is. And that's why that's just so simple to just put on there. Now this is what you're going to do. I call this the modified trilene knot. I don't know what it's actually called. So what you want to do is you want to take it through this little eye here and just put the line right through there. Now what you're going to do, this is where it compares to the trilene knot, and these next two steps will be just like that. You're just going to spin it, or you could wrap it. If you wrap it, you want to wrap it at least 5 times, is what my great-grandpa taught me. So now what you want to do is it'll create this loop at the bottom. Take the line, put it through there. And now what this will do is this will create a second loop. Do not put it through that loop. That creates the trilene knot. We don't want this. See, this is the story I was told. Dog comes out of it's a rabbit. A rabbit comes out of the rabbit hole, sees a dog, turns around, goes back into the same hole, and then you pull that tight, and then you have this knot. And this knot, it will not come undone for anything. I've got snagged so many times. I don't like to admit it, but it's been snagged so many times, and you can get it undone. The line, this is 12-pound line. This 12-pound line will break before this knot will come undone. This knot will not come done for anything. It is great. And like the problem with, okay, so I'm gonna put this part at the beginning of the video. So guys, the problem I'll just do this part here. So guys, the problem with most anglers, most professional anglers, they'll have a knot for soft plastics. They have one for your crankbaits, one for your spinner baits, one for whatever, you know. They'll have multiple different knots, but this knot here, it'll work for just about anything. Now the one thing you want to do when you're tying any fishing knot is this part, you'll have a little extra part sticking out that doesn't go to your reel. See, there's the end of it. And that's called the tag end, is what we call that. And what you want to do is you want to snip that tag end off. You can use anything from, like I said in the last video, these things in your pliers. You can use, in the very middle of your pliers, the clippers there. You can use wire cutters. Well, not really wire cutters per se, but you know, those kind of pliers. You can use fingernail clippers. I've used those, and even certain scissors on multi-tools even work. So yeah, that is the strongest knot. That's the knot that I've been using for about half the year. It's worked so much better than the trilene knot. The trilene knot, what I would do is I would take my rod, I'd go back to cast. It's got tight line all the way through, from the rod tip down to the bait, and it'll be tight, and it'll go back, and then I just feel like it'll slack. I look at the end of my line, my lure is gone. And this happened so many times until I went out fishing with someone and I lost my crankbait. Luckily that crankbait, that was one of my favorite crankbaits, it floats on top of the water. And that's what most crankbaits do. I didn't know this at the time, but I did learn that most crankbaits do float on top of the water, but when you start cranking them, then they'll go under the water, and they'll go deep, and then they'll vibrate and attract fish. But basically what will happen is it just flew off, and then we went and got that, and then he taught me the knot. So guys, that is the best knot for fishing that I have ever seen. If you guys have any more names of knots that I need to look up and try, then please leave those in the comment section down below. If you like fishing, please like, subscribe, etc. That's going to be all for this video. See ya.